This is pretty bad. This is bad. The wind is actually moving the camera. Hello and welcome to a sunny morning on the allotment. It is the middle of April and I am wearing a beanie hat. The weather has been crazy this morning. It was absolutely pouring down torrential rain and the wind was coming sideways, and now the sun's out, so I am dressed for I don't know what weather, but I've got a whole day today, half term's over. I've come down to the plot. I'm going to take you around and show you exactly what's going on here. I haven't really looked at anything yet. I wanted to take you with me, and then I've got a few little jobs to do as well. Okay, so we'll start at the front of the plot and my asparagus bed. So I always start at the front. I always want to see how my asparagus is doing because I'm so excited about it. And guess what? It is coming up and it's looking good. So as you can see, the asparagus is coming up. Some of the spears are a lot thicker than others. Some of them are already fanned out, but they're all coming up and they're all looking really great. So I'm really pleased about that. So these are the ones I planted the end of 2022. So they've already had the whole of 2023 and now they're going to have the whole of 2024, and then next year I'll be able to start harvesting them. I've also got my strawberries that are starting to flower in this bed as well. I am going to keep these strawberries in this bed just to fill in the gaps in between the asparagus. That has worked well last year, so I'm going to keep that. I've got two different varieties of strawberry in here. One of them is a really high crop one. That's the one with the pink flowers. So that strawberry with the pink flowers is called Toscana, and that is a really high cropping strawberry, and it actually produces less runners, so a lot of the energy in the plant goes to the actual strawberries, which has been amazing. Last year we had strawberries pretty much the whole year from that one plant, so there's not been any runners from it, so I can't make any more plants from that one. But if I see any more of those out and about in the garden centre, I will actually be buying some of them. There's also a lot of weeds in this bed, so job for today is to definitely weed out the stinging nettles and the bindweed. So my next bed is the one next to the asparagus bed, and that is the one that has got the garlic in it. So the garlic's all looking really, really good. Loads of garlic has come up, looking really strong. There is a lot of weeds in this bed. I am going to take the weeds out today, and I'm going to interplant some shallots in this space as well to make up the space here. But I am also going to be planting some beans over the archway when the weather heats up a bit. This bed will be full of shallots, garlic and some beans this year. The other beds I've got the other side of the archway are completely empty at the moment. There is some weeding to do in there, but that's absolutely fine. I've got time to do that today. My next bed I'm going to show you, I actually planted my first earlies in here a few weeks ago now actually, and they're starting to come up, so that's really good. And I've got my second earlies and my main crop, which I'm going to be planting today. I may put some in this bed here at the end, and then another one. I think I'm going to use maybe one of these beds here that I had cabbages in last year. I'm not doing cabbages and anything like that this year, which I've talked about. I'm only doing things that we eat a lot of. So these beds, I think I'm going to use one for potatoes and maybe the other one for some peas. I'm not sure yet, but they are going to get used up, and some of them planted today. I just wanted to show you as well my foxgloves. I'm so excited for them coming out. They look amazing already. So I've got a row of them behind two of the beds and they're just looking amazing already. I love foxgloves. They're one of my favourite flowers, so I'm excited for them to come up. Okay, so where I did my horseradish and my Jerusalem artichokes, the horseradish is coming up, the Jerusalem artichokes isn't yet, but I did the Jerusalem artichokes a lot later than the horseradish. Going into my fruit cage, I've got my gooseberry, which is showing signs of life. That looks good. I've got my currant, which again is showing signs of life, and that's looking really good as well. My two blueberries that I planted up in here, they're looking really good. Lots and lots of flowers on one of them, so I'm really pleased with that. And that again was one of the bargain ones that I got from the garden centre. My raspberry canes, a couple of them came from my garden and a couple of them came from the garden centre. they're all looking fine. Only 2 of them have got signs of life at the moment, but it's still quite early, so I'm not too worried about that. And my jumbo strawberries are looking amazing as well. So I moved them from where I've got my garlic at the moment. I moved them a few months ago to be in the fruit cage, and they're all looking really good as well. They're putting on flowers and things, but they do need a little bit of weeding. So all in all, fruit cage is looking really good as well. Okay, I'm now going to have to open my mini polytunnel, and I think it's going to be a bit of a jungle in here. I've just got a real feeling. I can sort of see some greenery inside, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know what it's going to be like in there. I'm going to just open it up and see. Okay, so I had a feeling it was going to be like this. This is pretty bad. This is bad, but it's nothing we can't work on. We've got all week. Okay, I'm going to need to sort that out, but that's fine. I will cut some of that down today, and then I'll probably just do like a no dig. I'll probably put some cardboard over, some fresh compost, and put my chilies straight in there. It's starting to rain again, so it looks really sunny, but I am still keeping my hat on because it keeps raining. The weather's been so crazy. Has it been like that with you? That is actually my question of the day. How has the weather been with you? Have you had this sort of like rain and then sun, and then it's really hot, and then it's really cold, and then it's windy? Or have you been having stabilised weather where you are? Okay, we're now in the polytunnel and it's looking fine. There's a lot of weeds everywhere. The garlic's all looking really good in here. I've got 3 types of garlic in here. I've got elephant garlic, I've got some saved garlic from last year. I've also got some giant Russian garlic, which is new to me this year. So really excited about that. It's all looking great. I just want to show you, I've just noticed this as well. By my pond, I've actually got some foxgloves starting to come out, which is really exciting for me. Okay, the wind is starting to pick up again, so I'm going to get these jobs done before it starts raining again, because you never know when it's going to start raining. We need to take our chance while we've got it. So this is what I've got to plant today. I've got my peas, so I've got 1, 2, 3 lots of peas to plant. I've got all my parsley plants. I've got my first earlies, and I've got my main crop under there as well, and I've got my shallots to do. I'm just going to do a little bit of weeding as and when, just going round as I'm planting things as well, and then hopefully that will just keep that down. But you know what it's like with the weeds at this time of year, because it was quite hot at the weekend, and then obviously we've had lots of rain, so it's like the heat and then the rain, it's just sending everything into life, which we want for our crops but not for the weeds. Let me just show you my apple trees as well. So this one here is the one that doesn't normally have much blossom, but actually this year it's got a lot more than it had before. And I'm quite glad that the blossom is coming from these bits here, which are quite low down on the tree, because the branches at the top were all sort of rubbing on each other and overlapping, and a lot of the branches were dead and decaying, so I did take a lot off last year. But my aim in the end was to have a smaller tree that was a lot healthier, with new shoots coming up a lot lower down, which I think is actually working now. So we've got a lot of fruit coming off the bottom, and I think what I'm going to do this year is see how it performs, and then when I give it a prune next year, I'll try and take the shape down a bit more as well, just to keep it nice and compact. That's my goal anyway. Okay, so let's get cracking. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to plant the shallots in with the garlic. I'm going to give that bed a nice weed. I'll give the asparagus bed a weed at the same time because they're both together, and then I'll plant the shallots in. So that's my first little job for today. Sun's actually come out now and it's stopped raining, so I've taken my hat off. So I've got some shallots to plant. These were just ones that came from the garden centre. They were just a bag of shallots. I've just started them off in this tray. The roots are starting to show on the underside, so they're definitely ready to go out. the wind is actually moving the camera. So I'm going to get these planted about the same depth as what they are in this tray, and I'm going to interplant them. There is a couple of gaps where some garlic hasn't come up here, so I'm probably just going to fill those gaps with these. So as you can see, the roots on those have grown really well in there. They're very dry, so they definitely need to get into this soil. Absolutely crazy today, but the sun is actually out, so it's quite nice. So what I did, I just weeded this bed and planted the shallots in between. It all looks great. I'm just going to quickly weed the asparagus bed, and then I'm going to get on and plant the potatoes and the peas. Excuse the wind, my hair is going all over my face. Okay, so it's time to plant the peas now. So I have got 3 sets of peas, which I've just been growing in these containers. These ones are the ones that came up the best actually, so I'll put them in the middle, and then there's only a few that's come up on here, so I'll put them at the end, and then the other ones as well, I'll halve them and then put them at the end, so they can all grow up this makeshift frame that I've got.